Warning, this podcast contains evil Jekyll. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast for Once Upon a Time, Season 6, Episode 4, Strange Case. I'm your host, Dom. With me, we have Jake. We have... struggling. Sev. and we have... Nikki. How's it going, guys?
Yeah. Through
Magic.
that.
Magic. Hooray. So, yeah.
What did we think about this episode?
Yes, that is a good first question. I'm glad I thought of it.
It was a great episode.
Oh, it was weird.
It was a little weird, but it was still good.
It was like everyone was double crossing. It felt like everyone was double crossing everyone. It's like,
yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy.
I'm gonna, do this to you, but I can't do this. It was just. I fell asleep during the last part of it, so.
but you caught up.
You did,
and we will talk about all of that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, let me start with the most important question. What do you guys think of Mr. Gold's haircut?
That was a shit haircut, in my opinion.
You know what?
He did good for doing it himself.
Yeah, he did it himself, but I mean, I think the short hair suits him, not that particular cut. But I think maybe if it were a tad bit longer, but...
So, I don't know if I mentioned this on the podcast or not, but I've definitely mentioned this. I know I had a conversation with Nikki about this, at least, off air, that something was just wrong with Mr. Gold's hair in the first couple episods. There was something off. I don't know if it was the color or whatever, but this explains everything.
He had extensions.
Yeah. He's probably been wearing a wig this whole time. I'm assuming he didn't cut his hair during this episode.
That was not his hair.
Right.
That was not his hair. That was a wig.
Right. So, if, and it's not really a big if, but I'm giving the benefit of the doubt, but if that was a wig, it was a really fantastic wig because it was the same hairstyle that he's been having this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with the color is when you dye hair, it's almost impossible to be able to match colors unless you're using a pre-made kit or whatever. Like you go and you get burgundy because that's Rachel's favorite color, right? Burgundy? That's, right?
Auburn?
Or no, auburn, that's what it is. Auburn. Sorry.
The bullshit color.
Yeah,
the
auburn,
bullshit
the bullshit
color.
color. No, but you get like the box and it's like, but you can't really get like, okay, well here's Mr. Gold's hair color gray. Do you know like how long and extensive and costly that would be to match his hair exactly? So they just went with the closest match they could find.
And it's been a couple, so you never know. It's after the season comes back, you're like, oh, people are gonna just think that he's sporting a new style.
But the color difference in his hair was really bothering me. And things like that shouldn't bother someone, but it was bothering me to the point that when they finally cut his hair and revealed, oh, here's the new look, I was so relieved that I didn't have to look at that wrong color hair anymore. So that was a big burden off of my chest. But
now you gotta look the wrong length of hair.
It's different, and I don't mind it.
It was more conditioned, and it looked like it was in better condition than it was last season.
We got a lot of hair problems on this show.
It was like, oh, he decided to take care of his hair.
Yeah.
It wasn't as fluffy.
Yeah, we didn't like Ariel's hair color, wasn't red enough. And then when we got to Merida, it was too freaking vibrant of an orange. And now he cut his damn hair off, and we're having an issue with that.
We don't want to get to Emma's dry shampoo hair.
You don't like it, so change it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then Emma's train wreck of a dark swan haircut or hairdo. What the hell? Seriously, what is with these people?
She spray painted it silver. That's
no, it's like crusty.
Yeah, it's Halloween hairspray. That's what that was.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it was just, so I don't know. I like the new cut. It's a new thing, and I'm like following Robert Carlyle too. It's kind of new for him. I mean, it's not always. He's had short hair before, but that was before I got into watching his material. Like, when I really started following him is when I saw him in Stargate Universe, and he had long hair then. It was the same length as the Rumpelstiltskin hair. So I don't know. I like change and I don't like change at the same time, but I feel like this was a good one. So I think Jake, it's gonna have to grow.
Yeah, I need to get used to it. I'm looking at him like, who is that?
It's gonna have to grow.
It's like one of those. It's one of those haircuts. Like after you get a haircut, you're like you really don't like it, but then like give it a weeks, it kind of grows into what it's supposed to look like, and you're like, okay, I like it.
Yeah, there we go.
Alex in chat was saying that Robert actually had to cut his hair for the movie he's going to be in. Okay. So
yeah,
good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Actor getting work.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. But for Mr. Gold, right, we got a lot of story between him and Hyde, and we finally got the answer that we've been dying to know. Like, how was this whole thing intertwined? Like, how did they know each other? And
he got to know everybody.
Yeah. So in doing this, we learned Dr. Jekyll's backstory, right? Which starts in Victorian England. And guess who's in Victorian England? It's not another Victorian England. It is the same Victorian England that Alice was in. The exact same one.
All the same
because
one.
we have a crossover cameo from somebody in Once Upon a Time in Wonderland, which is Dr. Lydgate. Right? The bald guy who wanted to do the lobotomy.
Yeah, that's why he looked really familiar to me. I'm like, you.
Okay, so
I can't quite place him.
I know, not necessarily. I mean, there's been some hostility here on our show for forgetting Wonderland too, but there's been a lot more outside of our show where people are just furious. Oh, what is Wonderland not canon anymore? Like people are like up in arms, like furious. And this episode is just no, it's canon. Like it's still canon. It's fantastic, and I loved it.
Well,
absolutely loved it.
Yeah, season four kind of like proved that it was canon. Then we kind of dropped off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like this recasting Jafar, right? Not having Anastasia be the stepsister, all things that are turning people into questioning whether or not.
Do not start some shit, Tom.
No, I didn't. I just said that. You know what? I'm not picking a side on this. We've already been over our statements on who's on what side of the fence.
Except for me, but I'm staying out of it.
Yeah, you don't want to get in.
I know what side she's on, but she's not going to admit it now that we're on the air. Yeah.
He's calling you out.
Yeah. No, she agreed that the mothers are different, so therefore Anastasia cannot be Cinderella's stepsister.
It could be her real sister.
Could be a step-sister.
A step-sister.
Whatever. But, so it was cool. We got Victorian England, which was fantastic to see. And not only that, but we get more backstory on Dr. Lydgate. You know, we have his daughter Mary. We still haven't seen his wife. Just throwing that out there. But, now we get to see...
Probably dead.
No, she's not. Well, maybe now she is, but at the time of these flashbacks, she's not, because the whole thing was Jekyll wanted to be added to this school so he can do his research and stuff like that. And Mr. Hyde, personality that Rumpel helped create the potion that made this happen, Hyde basically blackmailed him for the affair he was having on his wife with his secretary.
So.
His assistant. She was assisting him.
Mm-hmm.
Honey, I'm sorry I can't come home today. There's
assistant starts with ASS, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just gonna say the actress that plays Mary, me and her don't have a good track record. I don't like her.
She is currently in Supernatural.
She's currently dead.
Yes.
Well, on the show, yes.
On this show, but I mean,
don't think
first impression.
She's part of the main cast right now in Supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
And she was a main cast member last season on The Vampire Diaries. So, Nikki has just all around not liked her so far in every role she's been in.
She was a bitch in this episode too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, she kind of was.
But the cool twist here is Mr. Hyde wasn't the villain.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Jekyll was the villain.
He's just misunderstood.
But crazy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because Jekyll's got his own like agenda. He's like trying to do all this stuff, and he's just not well suited to get what he wants. So he's basically using Mr. Hyde to blackmail people. He's being the brute, the force, because he doesn't have the strength to do it, and Hyde does. He's
not socially inept.
No, he's not. He's very awkward, clumsy, and bumbly. And then he's got a thing for Mary Lydgate, and he sends Hyde to do that as well. But Mary has feelings for Hyde, not Jekyll, and that causes some tension. And Jekyll ends up waking up in bed next to her, and she's freaking out because she went to bed with a different man. And
that was hilarious.
How did you get in here?
How did you?
I mean, to be fair, I'd probably have the same freaking reaction.
What the fuck?
Who the hell are you?
And what did you do to the man that was?
What'd you do to the good-looking man?
Exactly, the good-looking
Is
man.
he behind you? What? Is he over there?
And and they end up in a tuffle, scuffle, tuffle,
A tizzy.
tassel, I don't know, whatever. And she goes flying out the window.
She goes.
And then Jekyll can't take responsibilities for his own actions, so he once again takes the easy way out and replaces himself with Mr. Hyde.
Frames Hyde, yep.
Frames
She
Hyde
obviously
and
didn't have pixie dust on her side.
yeah, and goes running. And like this is the last time we see Dr. Lydgate just opening the door to his daughter's room, and Mr. Hyde running out.
Did anyone else notice the really strange sound effect when Hyde touched Lydgate as he went out the door?
No.
No?
What did it sound like?
And it was kind of like a magical, a ringing kind of vibrating sound.
What does it mean?
I don't know! That's why I was like, I hope somebody else realized or noticed it, but I guess not.
Yeah.
Now we're all gonna have to go back and watch it. Gosh.
Yeah. Sorry.
But this brings in everything into a whole different light now, because you have Hyde basically wanting revenge on Rumple, and Rumple only, right? Mm-hmm. And Jekyll wants the same. They're aligned, so I don't know why they've been at each other's throats for this whole time. That's the only inconsistency I see. They both have the same common end goal. They both blame Rumple.
Doesn't mean they like each other.
They both blame Rumple, but Jekyll actually wants to physically do something to Rumple to get back at him, whereas Hyde just wants to prove a point.
Yeah.
Much like
he wants him to lose his love like he lost his, kind of thing.
Without lifting a finger.
Rumple's lost his love many.
Oh yeah,
over.
But not the way that he lost his. That was the point.
Yeah.
Rumple killed one of his.
I don't know if that was necessarily a love, though. I don't see any love for Mila. He had an infatuation with her, but I don't think that was love.
I mean, he loved her because they had a child together. That whole part of the relationship was love. And then once Mila took off and Hook got involved and he became the Dark One, that completely fizzled off. His love focus then became just Balefire.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. He was definitely devastated when Mila left, but I don't see that as true love. He cared for her, but I don't think he loved her.
I don't think they loved each other. I think it was something it was a prearranged marriage or something. Because she didn't like the person that he was. He was, to her, he was weak and everything. And then he couldn't really survive without her because she was stronger than him.
No, he couldn't. I don't even know how he survived, period.
Yeah, he was more reliant on her, and she didn't like that. She wanted it to be the other way around. Of course.
And then we get the whole, why did Rumple involve himself? And he revealed that he did this back when he first had Belle, as a chambermaid, and she was kind of falling for him or whatever. And it seemed like what he was trying to do was get this potion to take the evil side out of him and split himself, much like Jekyll and Hyde did, so he could be with Belle.
But we know, now we know, that shit ain't going to work.
No, we know that now, but at the time we didn't. It seemed plausible. It was something Rumple was looking into. But we also know during that time, Rumple had knowledge of the future, right? So is this a plot hole, or is he just not able to see the future of other realms?
Well, we know he can see the future, but he doesn't. There are like little bits and pieces that he can't really quite figure out. Like he'll know.
They're they're guesstimates.
Yeah,
they're guesstimates of the future.
But there are certain things that you think they're going to turn out one way, but it turns out, oh no, double meaning, it's another thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like you see it. Okay, this is what's happened, but actually, you're not seeing the whole picture, so it's a little different than what it actually looks like. We had that in S.H.I.E.L.D. at one point, where one of the characters saw the future. She saw someone aiming a gun at her, but what actually happened was that it was a two-way mirror, and
we also know that the future is not finite. How you get there is never usually the same way. So he's only seeing the parts that are finite, and that's just usually the part that's stuck in time forever, no matter how you get there, which is exactly what's happening with Emma.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. But we also Rumple's trying to protect Belle at the same time. He knew this whole time what he did, obviously, so he knows the worst. He's planning on Hyde coming for him for killing the girl he loved and that he was framed and all that. So he protects Belle by casting a spell over the Jolly Roger.
You mean imprisoning her?
Yes, imprisoning her.
He's always imprisoning her.
And it's
kind of like their relationship.
Rumple. So Belle says, you're going to just, box me up like one of your objects. You can't do that. He says, apparently I can. Okay, fuck
you. No, that's...
Okay?
I don't agree
bad
with that.
Rumple.
I don't agree
Rumple.
with the way he said that at all.
Rumple,
No.
bad. Bad Rumple.
But at this point...
Rumple, no.
At this point, Jake, if you've ever been in a really nasty, visceral kind of breakup...
Do not get me started, Dom.
I'm just saying.
I got some
If you've ever been in one, and you are at the point where if you're on the side that you still want to salvage stuff and somebody else doesn't, right? Mm-hmm. You eventually hit this point of I don't care anymore, right? That's like the breaking point. Is I don't care. Whatever I do is not going to solve anything anymore. I think that's at the point Rumple is at, where he's just like, you know what? F you, yes, that's exactly what I'm doing. Yep, I'm agreeing with you. Apparently I can. And he just walks away because he's so aggravated with the situation. So that is the way I see that. But the part that I didn't agree with, right, and I think me and Jake are going to be on the same side for this one, is what he said at the end of the episode, where he basically threatened Belle's love out of necessity.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, do you know whose father that child is? They're going to need protection, and when it is, you're going to beg for my help. I understand, too, that's coming from a very visceral place of frustration that I'm never going to be with her again, so you just say whatever the hell you want to say, It gets to that point. It really does, especially visceral relationships. And I don't agree with it, but I definitely think it was something said out of heated emotion.
Definitely, it is. I mean, that was the wrong thing to say. We don't know. He very well could have meant it. But Rumple, you're not the only one with magic in this universe. Okay, there are forces way greater beyond you, blue shady bitch, and your own son is the one who told your wife. They're still married, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
The one who told your wife to stay away from you. I think that's a sign. Your son hates you right now, and Belle does too.
I'm just curious. Yes, I know that was the child's dream and all that, but how much does the child really understand about what is going on in this situation to hate Belle? I mean, to hate Rumple.
No, he's probably a really smart kid. He's Belle's child.
Well,
I don't know.
If he's
there's always that even now. How much this baby understands inside? I mean, how much of what you take in does the baby understand? Because
I think he felt Belle's like he was there in her dream state, he has all her memories and stuff.
Yeah, that's what
it does have a lot to do with the place that she went and had this dream where she saw her son, the Temple of Morpheus. That is a catalyst for magic if nobody ever knew. Like,
well, there's also the fact too that this is the first time I think that I can't say for sure, but I'm under the impression that the Dark One is not fertile when he's the Dark One. Like, he can't have children. That's just the impression I'm under. I don't know what gives me that impression.
Or maybe they just never cared.
You just never cared.
I don't know, but I'm under the impression that has changed. I'm under the impression that has changed when they cross realms. So this could very well be the first time that there is a spawn of the Dark One.
Maybe.
That sounds so bad.
Or there's bastard childs all over.
There probably is.
So I'm wondering if this child possesses Dark One-like magical powers.
Well, see, that's what I've asked this. I go, did they conceive it when he wasn't the Dark One or when he was?
It's when he was.
Or is it the Knaves?
It was like right at that. Oh yeah, or it's the Knaves. That'd be amazing. No. But it was right at that when she got pregnant. It was right at that conjunction where was it? Wasn't it? Was it? Wasn't it?
It was in the in-between stages that we don't really know. Yeah, but that baby, he's very.
Emma was the Dark One, or he was. It was in a weird spot that we don't know for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the point is the baby can talk.
No, it's. Wasn't she pregnant during the Frozen arc, or did that happen?
No.
The actress was pregnant during the Frozen arc, but Belle was not. Belle was not.
That's all different.
I just watched that season. No, she was not pregnant.
Okay.
Zelena was, but
yeah. Well, she wasn't Zelena.
Zelena Marion.
We're not going to talk about her anymore.
No. Okay, no, we're not. Let's move on to more Rumple. That's fun. So, yeah. Speaking of Rumple's like future vision and stuff, and now we got a baby on the way. I was thinking about this. I'm going to call him Baby Mo. Mo from Morpheus. Mm-hmm. So we know that Rumple got his powers from the seer. And the seer said that a boy will lead you to your son and that a boy will be your undoing. What if that's not the same boy? What if Henry's the boy that leads him to his son, but Baby Mo is the boy that will be Rumple's undoing?
I thought that was already resolved when they revealed that it was Pan.
Yeah. But I'm still.
And he did.
I did think that.
I'm pretty sure there was a cutoff of the future scene. It was actually after the Pan season, during the Frozen season, when they resolved that he couldn't see anymore. That was it. He met his limit.
He met his limit. This is all
I was convinced that it was.
I thought Pan was the boy that would be his undoing and actually did do the undoing, and then they had to resurrect him the following season.
I know, yes. I thought that too, but then I really thought about it. Wait a minute. But Rumple kind of did himself in, so I didn't know if that made sense. But then I just kind of blew it off. But when Baby Mo came in, that's when I started thinking maybe it's him.
Well, it said the boy would be his undoing, not that the boy directly is the undoing, but caused it, which is still what Pan ended up doing. So, I'm not sure. I mean, it's definitely possible. I'm not completely dismissing it, but I do believe it was resolved. That's not to say they can't decide to pick it back up again.
I just want to, just approach something in chat where Lee Silver's like, how could Belle give birth to a god? Like, that's pertaining to the name Morpheus, that Morpheus is the god Morpheus. I think it's just a name.
Yeah, no, he was posing as Morpheus.
He was posing as Morpheus.
He's not the real Morpheus. He was posing
as
one in the dream world.
That's why I'm calling him Baby Mo.
We just don't know his name, so right now Jake just donned him Baby Mo.
Yes. So we're just calling him Morpheus or Mo just because that's how he was in the dream. That's who he was. Mm-hmm. That was his name.
And speaking of babies, Snow, you picked up Neil from the daycare center at the convent. Great job.
You did a thing.
I think it's now the babies are the babies because they're twins that play the babies. Mm-hmm. They're older now. Now they can actually, now it's like to the point where you can actually see the kid now. Before they're babies, and you can put them in a doll.
There's still that rule where children up to a certain age only get a certain amount of screen time. Mm-hmm. So they were also playing around with that.
Yeah. Now the baby's older, so it's a little bit better.
The baby's gonna talk, and then he's gonna call Blue Mama.
Oh damn!
Blue Mama.
I think Blue would actually plan that. She's so shady. What's that one movie where the lady starts looking after a girl's baby because she has a job? Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. I haven't seen it in so long.
Yeah, Snow picked up the baby from daycare, but Snow also went back to teaching this episode.
And she's really bad at it.
She's awful.
Oh, we saw Violet.
Yes, we did.
Violet.
We did.
You still ain't doing shit, but there you are.
Tom Sawyer in Snow's class. He was sitting there with his straw hat, with a really dumb face on.
I don't know what's going on.
Where's Huck Finn?
Maybe
somewhere around there.
He skipped class.
Yeah, he totally skipped.
Yeah. But while Mary Margaret, because that's her name now. While Mary Margaret was in the halls of the class, and Violet and Henry, they went off to go do their thing. She runs into another teacher.
Shireen.
Yeah, Princess Jasmine.
Shireen.
Yeah.
Shireen. I actually had a friend named Shireen.
I mean, I think just because of the casting call, we knew.
I mean, we knew.
We knew she was Jasmine going into it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I had known ahead of time that she would have been Princess Jasmine just by looking at her with no knowledge of the casting. I don't know if I would have immediately jumped to that because it's been 4, or technically it's been 3 episodes now since there was any mention of Aladdin. So I feel like if I wasn't doing a podcast like this and we was not paying attention, I'm watching on Netflix or something like that, years from now, never have watched the show, and heard anything about it. I feel like I probably wouldn't have pieced it together at that moment, but when the end of the episode revealed Jasmine, I would have been like, oh, wow, that's really cool. Huh?
Not even the end of the episode. It's when they sit down and, Snow's just like, I suck at teaching. I can't do this. And they're having the talk. And she's like, well, I was from another land where a princess had to do this and this and this. You're a princess. You should, you should be teaching like you're the other person because you're not the same as Mary Margaret when you were teaching and all this stuff. That conversation would have completely made me think, that's Jasmine.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I would have.
Yeah. Looks like Alex has actually been doing some research during this time, and he goes that Belle and Rumple did have sexy time in the Frozen arc in the first episode.
I don't want to be thinking about that right now. No, thank you.
So,
yeah,
it's possible.
We don't
considering
know.
How much time
how far along she is.
Rumple, we're talking about Rumple and Belle, obviously.
Yeah, but considering how much time passed while they were in Camelot.
We don't know how much time passed while they were
6 months.
6 months, because
6 months.
Mary Margaret went from being a little bit pregnant to a lot pregnant.
Exactly. So Belle was not pregnant prior to Camelot at all. 0. Mm-hmm. Definitely not.
Okay, fair enough. Anyway, so we had that scene with the teacher's aide and all that, and the princess. Probably would have raised some red flags, and I would have been like, which princess? Oh, she's got to be Jasmine. I probably would have figured it out by then.
And her earrings.
Yeah, the earrings were very Disney cartoon Jasmine-like, so that was definitely a big tip-off. But, she really helps Snow and push in the direction of the way she should be teaching as Snow White, not as Mary Margaret.
Yep.
You're still Mary Margaret.
She introduced herself as Snow.
She has to change the way she taught because she's changed since the curse. She's changed.
And then you went back.
Yeah,
Alex is correcting you, Nikki. He said that Camelot was 6 weeks, not 6 months.
No, because then explain how Mary Margaret went from being like not pregnant to like giving birth within 2 weeks after they came back.
Well, that was a year. Actually, there's like an entire missing year when they went.
Yeah, they already said that they missed.
Yeah,
but I guess
they were in Camelot long enough for the gestation of a child to go from a teensy little particle to something that was this big, 2 fists.
Wait, but Zelina was pregnant.
Zelina was pregnant too, yes.
Her pregnancy was accelerated.
But she wasn't.
Yes.
I know, but she wasn't showing after they came after Camelot, and she got pregnant before that season.
I don't know.
Just ban babies from this show.
Yeah, just ban curses and time jumping and all that bullshit. We don't need it.
Except for the Captain Swan babies.
The missing year.
Make all those babies.
The missing year took place from Oz, right? That was where the missing year was, when they came back from Oz and was that curse. That's where the whole missing year came from. The Camelot thing, I think I'm on Alex's side. I think it was only 6 weeks. I thought it was shorter, but I took your response at face value because I wasn't researching here.
The point is Belle wasn't pregnant.
So
Belle
she could have been. She could have been.
If there was
only 6 weeks, she very well could have been.
Then what happened?
She would have been showing when they first revealed that she was pregnant.
She was.
Recently.
The actress was pregnant.
No, not the character Belle, not the actress, you jerk.
So
who here? Raise your hand. Who here has had babies?
None that I know of. None that I know of. But yeah, so anyway, so Snow teaching, she's trying to teach Newton's laws of physics, and for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction, which just made me crack up because we just had a scene involving Newton's law in Legends of Tomorrow.
Yes, that's what I'm like. What? What's going on?
It's like I'm noticing parallels, and they're 100% coincidence parallels of other shows that are happening. It's like something that happened in one show happened in another one that was similar. Something here is happening there. I notice sometimes when shows are going that two characters have the same name and they're both very obscure names, but they still share names like that. I'm just like, this is all like really weird happenstance coincidence. It's like they're not ripping each other off, they're not stealing it. It's just, I don't know, it's weird that they both aired the same week,
Mm-hmm.
It's just very, very odd.
It was very weird. But
anyway, so
I don't
she's
think
teaching
they planned
that.
it.
No, they definitely didn't plan it. But anyway, she's teaching that, and she decides that she's got to get hands-on with these kids, teach them. Personally,
Great
I would
idea.
love to have a teacher like that, right?
Oh, I had a teacher like that. There was a whole archery part in my science class. Science, not even like, phys ed or anything. It was science.
Well, that's basically what it seemed like what Snow was teaching here, where previously she was an English teacher. Now it seems like she's a science teacher. Like
she might be a general. She might be a general.
The kids are pretty young. Most
like,
in elementary school sometimes.
Fifth.
Yeah, they have one teacher.
5th or 6th grade, depending on their school.
Yeah. So, I don't know, but it was definitely cool, and she's just like, yeah, she was originally, like, showing the equation on the blackboard. She's like, who wants to come up and solve the equation? Nobody raises their hand. After showing the archery class.
Most of those kids don't know what that is.
No,
yeah.
No.
Most of those kids are from the land of untold stories. They have no idea what I'm thinking.
Well,
like,
and then
they don't know what a blackboard is.
Think about when you were a kid. Did you want to go up on the blackboard to
Yes.
solve?
Oh, yes.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Kid.
No, you went up there to draw penises on the chalkboard.
I was just gonna say
I
you
only
went up
did
to
that
the
once. I only did that once.
No, I didn't do that, but there was a time I had to write organism on the board.
And it came out orgasm.
Good job.
Yeah, no. I had to actually read an excerpt from a bio text, and I read orgasm instead of organism. It was funny. And that was like grade 10 too, so everybody looked at me like, okay.
What are you doing? Yeah. But, and then after that, everybody's raising their hand. They all want to participate, not in the orgasm, but in the archery class. So, just making that clear. But,
yeah.
I would love to have a teacher like that. Like, I didn't have archery where, I went to school. I had a wood shop, and we had definitely a lot of hands-on projects, and that was the most memorable, fun class I had. We build, CO2 cartridges, cars, that would race down tracks, and, all kinds of things. We built the pressurized water rockets, and, all that stuff. I still, to this day, have my pressurized water rocket. Like, I just saw it yesterday. Like, that's how, like, recent I saw this thing. I still have it accessible.
How many fingers did your teacher have still?
It was only missing a stub of one, but had nothing to do with the woodshop class. It was a firecracker.
It's just the thing. All woodshop teachers are missing at least a part of a finger, if not a whole finger.
Oh, we had a kid saw his finger right down the middle. Like, split his finger right down the middle in class.
Oy.
Yeah. So,
it's gonna happen.
Yeah, for sure.
It's gonna happen in Snow's class too, probably.
No, she's not teaching. She's not teaching woodshop.
But she's got pointed arrows.
All of the children are dead.
All of the it just takes that one arrow.
On your head.
Takes that arrow to ricochet, hit the tree the wrong way, come bouncing back, stick them in the neck.
They're going to. No, it's not the William Tell thing. No, they're going to do the reverse of that just to make it safe. Put the arrow on their head and then shoot the apple.
Yeah, right.
Throw the apple at the arrow.
Okay.
Some reason I feel like that is more dangerous than shooting the apple with the arrow.
Getting beamed in the head with an apple really fucking hurts.
Yeah.
It does.
But we did also get huge information about the evil doppelgangers.
Yes.
That was tied to the Jekyll story and all that. Because when Jekyll goes to kill Belle, right, and she stabs him with Hook's magical conch, which I thought was hysterical.
Oh, hell, the conch.
The magic conch.
Oh, no. Get that out of my show.
What's that from, Nikki?
Magic conch.
Nikki, what's that from?
Maybe you should ask the magic conch.
The worst cartoon in history.
No, it's definitely not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's the shell phone.
The shell phone. It basically was. And luckily she called out for Hook just before it broke, and Hook came running, saved the day, because Rumple couldn't. Right? Because Hyde was in possession of the dagger. And I was like, oh, this is going to be terrible. This is going to be the Zelena story all over again, where Rumple's got to do everything against his will. But it was perfect. It was perfect. I had no arguments about it once it was said and done, because it was a very short stint. It was like 15 minutes of the whole episode. I thought it was something that was going to be dragged on.
He didn't want to control him.
No, but that's what I thought going into it. I'm like, okay, now he's got the dagger. He's going to control Rumple all season. Like, this is going to be awful. But we find out, no, he just wanted him to lose the love of his life the same way it happened to him. Where he didn't get to watch it. He saw the aftermath of it. So. But, to find out that, and then Jekyll accidentally dies from Hook. It's definitely not an intentional thing. No. Gets stabbed through the heart.
And it was
through the gut.
It was not through the side, not like last episode.
It was right below the sternum.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, and killing the original copy also kills the doppelganger. But the doppelganger cannot be killed unless the original is killed.
Yep.
So Hyde is basically was going invincible. Like Rumple tried choking him out, all this, and nothing worked.
It's kind of like a duh moment. You're like, well, duh.
I mean, it makes sense. That's how the Evil Queen didn't die, right? So now, we have the answer to that.
And you know how Regina, she's like, I have the there's a possibility I could go evil again, even without the Evil Queen in me, because the way Jekyll was reacting to Belle.
It's still
there. So she went to Emma and said, kill me if it gets to that point.
Pointless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
It's
and
still
at this point,
possible to grow and stuff.
At this point, just meld back in with the Evil
I was going to say, try to figure
Right, but going into this, they don't know that the serum is pointless, right? The whole point is this was an experiment. This was a magical fusion with science and magic that came together to try to
that's
solve
a great
problem.
idea.
Yeah.
Science!
It's a fantastic idea. Not. But it was... They don't know the consequence of this, right? Jekyll and Hyde were the first time this was ever tried, right? And they don't reveal the findings of this to anybody else. It's when Regina finds out she could do this, it's not like she knows that the Evil Queen's going to come back and can't be killed, So I'm hoping we're going to get some kind of reverse potion that's going to be able to put the Evil Queen back inside of Regina. That way we don't end up killing Regina in the process.
I kind of have a feeling they're not going to have to use a serum or a potion or anything. It's just both parties are going to have to be willing and just go back to each other willingly.
They stop Regina's heart and she dies, and so the evil queen dies, and then they bring her back to life with the
they smother her with a pillow.
Well, because the thing is, the evil queen needs Regina. Regina doesn't need the evil queen, right? So Regina kind of has leverage that I don't think she realizes yet, because if Regina threatens to do herself in, the evil queen now knows she's gone. She's a goner.
Yeah.
And Regina already mentioned to Emma this episode, promise me if things go sour, you're going to put me down, just like we promised back in Camelot when you were the Dark One.
Mm-hmm.
And then Regina would be the Dark One.
Yeah, right?
Emma, you need to think out your plans.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot going on with this, and, Regina's got the advantage. I don't think she realizes yet, but she has the advantage here.
No, she doesn't yet.
No, she's too worried about what the evil queen can do other than how she can take care of the evil queen. I don't know.
She has a lot on her plate right now.
Take the evil queen back, because Regina, you should have done this in the first place, because Alina's doing it better than you.
Mm-hmm.
Just sit down and talk, and then you two can meld back together, and everything will be fine. You were fine in season 4. You did great. Do it again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then finally, I wanted to address, before we go to the questions that chat has left for us, Jasmine definitely has some kind of secret agenda to save Aladdin.
I think they're looking for him in Storybrooke somewhere.
Yeah.
They think, yeah.
So are we still on the Oracle is Jafar in costume disguise? You're not?
I don't think it is. I don't think Jasmine would have anything to do with him, and I don't think it's
no, she wouldn't know if he's in disguise.
No, but I don't think it is him.
I mean, we know that Jafar has used disguises before to manipulate and get his way.
I mean,
I don't think it is.
Did you think that Marion was Alina?
I think that we're gonna find out, hopefully. Yeah, right. I think we're gonna find out, hopefully, that Jafar, either the current actor that's playing Jafar, or possibly the previous actor that plays Jafar, was one of his disguises. That's what I'm hoping that we find out, to just add some continuity to the change of actors. That's what that is my end goal of this season, is to get some confirmation on that, some way, shape, or form. That is my ultimate necessity that we need to know for this season. But it's also interesting to note.
Never mind.
She's holding a staff, right? Mm-hmm. She also has a staff, much like Jafar has got the snake staff. She's got the bird. It's not a raven, but is anybody?
Is Amara still the staff?
I think I don't know.
Because after Wonderland, Amara was dead.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the same snake staff. So that but what we don't know if he's got the staff in present day. That's the big thing, because this staff, when all this stuff was going on with the Land of Untold Stories and all that, could have been taking place before Wonderland.
Could have, yeah.
Right. So we don't know. Once we find out whether or not this staff here will be involved in present day, that's another story.
Nope.
So.
Dom's Jafar.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, I was freaking out earlier because I thought of something. I thought of a theory. It was like a Tumblr theory, but then but the theory, if it's true, totally retcons Wonderland. So I don't want to do that. But,
what's your theory?
But the theory was that somehow Aladdin got a hold of the serum, and his other half is Jafar.
Huh? I don't think that would retcon Wonderland.
I don't know. No, it would explain how. I mean, it would be another explanation to say Jafar looks different.
It'd be another reason why he was trying to find the genie. Maybe he was trying to put himself back together.
Well, no, we know why he wanted the genie.
I know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I actually really like that theory, Jake.
It's an interesting theory, definitely.
And earlier I saw, just in chat, we had in chat Very Magical says, who do you think is under the hood? And now pairing that with Jake's theory, it very well could be Aladdin. It could be Jasmine. You know, like
it could be almost
it literally
anybody.
could be anybody.
Well,
but
with now that we know,
Elsa, you guys, it's Elsa.
let it go.
Well, it could be the evil Emma. Now that we know that you have to kill I don't know.
That's true too, but
My cat wanted up here, now he doesn't want. Sorry.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna scroll through chat really quick. I'm just gonna fire some rapid questions, I guess. What are your thoughts on the Hyde and Jekyll backstory?
Interesting twist. I like it.
mm-hmm.
The title of this episode is a reference to the strange case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Mm-hmm.
The way Hyde's name came about was lame.
Yeah, Rumple, get out of here. Get out of town. We don't need you.
You're worse.
He doesn't know how to name things.
We need Cisco to name him.
Cisco's not in this universe.
He could
It's
be.
a different show.
We can make it happen. Yeah, the backstory was really nice. And it's kind of sad now knowing all of that and they're both gone.
And I kind of want Hyde to be around now.
Exactly. I want Evil Hyde to be a thing. Whereas before I was like, no thanks. But now I've seen it play out a little bit and I'm like, they're both doppelgangers, they're both immortal.
Do
It's
you
like,
guys not
do
you not see this pattern? Like I tried to explain this pattern to you guys way back, during the Frozen arc, that every single villain, they flop on us, that we end up liking the character by the end of it.
Cruella.
Yeah.
Cruella can.
Her story's not done yet. She's not done.
No, she's coming back, but no, she doesn't need to.
So.
I want her to.
Yeah.
Sure.
But that question was Danielle. Danielle also wants to know, what did you think of the big Rumple and Belle confrontation on the docks? They looked like they were about to kiss and magically poof back to the pawn shop and have angry sex.
No.
I recognize that kind of argument. I've actually had one of those arguments. It does not end in happy times.
Okay.
No.
Belle looked like she wanted to slap him, and I wouldn't have blamed her.
If she had any kind of sharp instrument, she would have jabbed him right in the throat.
You didn't have shards of the shell.
She's anything, but no. Yeah, I know what that kind of argument is, and no, not angry sex after that.
The things that
Bella's not happy.
The things that were said by Rumple this episode, and this is honestly the first time I felt this way about Rumple, I feel were definitely out of line and uncalled for. I don't agree with anything Rumple said here. I understand where they're coming from out of a very emotional place and frustration, but I still don't think that was the right thing to say to her.
No.
In either case. Because I personally, I'm taking this from personal experience, I've said much worse. So, I can forgive him for it, but I still don't think it's right. What are your thoughts on the twist of the evil queen to be destroyed, that Regina, Danielle is fearing for Regina's life?
She's not going to die.
No, there's no way Regina's going to be off the show. They're either going to find some way to permanently de-link them or put them back together. And I'm thinking putting them back together is the way they're going to go.
Well, since they're in the land of untold stories, the best way to put them back together would be to get all of the king's horses and all of the king's men.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Anyways. I mean,
which king?
Which king?
Leopold.
Yeah.
He did.
I think as much as the evil queen is being evil, I think, as we've pointed, she's not doing things like hurting people, but she's making messages. She's sending messages. Like she's almost like sending this message to Regina, like, whether you like it or not, you need me. And she kind of wants to be back together with her. It sounds really bad, but it's that
worst thing that the evil queen has done is put up a barrier around Storybrooke.
Yeah.
Again.
Like you said, all she's doing is a lot of talking and walking around and just showing off that she's back.
And being a whore.
Yeah, but she wasn't a whore this episode.
How is she being a whore? She's only been trying to seduce one person. That is the very opposite definition of a whore.
A married man.
who's on the rocks.
A married man whose wife wants nothing to do with them.
But she's been like, it's like she's almost sending Regina this, and sending her neon lights saying, hey, you need me no matter what you think. We need to be back together kind of thing. But she's just sending a lesson. She's doing it in the long, drawn-out way that she always does.
She's doing it in the way she can, because Evil Queen back in Enchanted Forest would always, wave her hand and, tens of thousands of people would be dead. This Evil Queen doesn't do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. She could be, I keep thinking of, the Regina Evil Queen combination when she was way before Storybrooke. She was downright ruthless. And this Evil Queen just has always got a smile on her face. She's always got a prance in her step. She's got this facade. She wants to be evil, but I think it's more of the Hyde thing where he wasn't a bad guy.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's going on.
Well, just like there's still a little bit of, just like there's still a little bit of evil in Regina, I think it's vice versa too.
Danielle is in chat. Gold Queen is not gonna happen, Dom. I'm well aware. Aware. I'm not even trying to ship that at all. My statement was just she's literally been going for one person. That's
And that was really just to get what she wanted.
Yeah.
And she's done that many, many times with other guys. So.
Yeah. Alex is going to be watching Aladdin tonight to get ready for Aladdin on Sunday. I think that's a very good idea. I think everybody should get some refreshers in on Aladdin.
Oh my God! I should have bought it.
Don't bother watching The Return of Jafar or the King of Thieves.
Don't bother.
King of Thieves was okay.
It was alright.
It was okay, and that's only because they got Robin Williams to come back. Otherwise, it would have been awful. But yeah, and
watch the Aladdin TV show.
The TV series wasn't too bad. I actually liked the TV series. That wasn't Robin Williams either. I think it was actually the same voice actor that was in The Return of Jafar.
Basically, The Return of Jafar was a giant pilot for that show.
Yeah. So, I didn't mind the cartoon. I actually kind of liked it. There were a lot of throwbacks to the movies and stuff. I really liked it a lot.
And they did a crossover with the Hercules cartoon.
They did, and it was fantastic. But Danielle also wants to know, what are your thoughts on Jasmine and Snow's friendship and the confirmation of Henry and Violet dating?
I like that she's got a visible friendship for us to see, whereas with the Ashley and Aurora, it was just they're always in backseats or flashbacks. You don't get
Aurora
to see.
And Snow were never friends, first of all, so that was off the table.
Well, I mean,
Snow had Ruby. Ruby's gone.
They built, yeah. I mean, we don't see the visual friendship for anybody with Snow anymore, other than Regina, which is still kind of rocky in some places.
But those are two princesses I would never imagine being friends.
Yeah.
Snow and Cinderella make sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Snow and Jasmine, it's a little weird, but also keep in mind, the Land of Untold Stories changes a lot because we don't know how long they've been there, right? Everybody could have been different because it's just frozen in time. So somebody could have been there the amount of time that Hook spent in Neverland, and somebody could have went a week ago, and they both left at the same time, and they're both the same age, but one has been alive actually for 500 years, and the other's been alive for 20-something years.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what makes it interesting, is we don't know when her rule as a princess was. That could have been 1,000 years ago.
1,001 years ago.
1,001 nights ago. Arabian Nights.
Well, it seems like they're looking for Aladdin. They couldn't find him. They're looking for him.
So he might not be dead.
Yeah. Or he was hiding out in the land of untold stories, but he was hiding. And
who's Mr. Hyde?
And Mr. Hyde. And then when Hyde brought it, because I think he picked out these specific people to bring over. So he might have found Aladdin and brought him, or he might have had him caged up himself.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Aladdin's down there in their insane loony bin.
He's in the Cave of Wonders.
It looks like from the previews that I saw anyway, looks like we are going to see the Cave of Wonders.
Yeah.
So,
awesome.
Yeah. Alex wants to know, do you think that Rumpelstiltskin was after Dr. Jekyll's potion? Perhaps he was looking for true love potion so he could use it for the curse. I know they never said it, but I was thinking it.
No, I think he was definitely after it for his own needs.
He put the plan in play to get Snow and David together. That was right after he lost Bay, so I'm pretty sure he already had that planned.
Please don't call him that.
That's what they call
it. It puts instant bad thoughts into my head.
Bellfire.
Thank you. I know that's his nickname.
It's a stupid...
I know it's his nickname, and unfortunately, the Twitterverse and Snapgram world has ruined that.
Oh, the Snapgrams and the Instabooks.
Yeah.
What?
Face space.
I have a 13-year-old cousin that uses that. Every time I see her post on Facebook, I want to smack her.
Yeah. But have you noticed though, like he's never referred to him as Bay again, like after that became like a big media sensation?
It was always Neil now, yeah.
Yeah. So
that's not his real name, but yeah.
Well, I mean, Neil wanted to be known. He's like, don't call me Balefire, don't call me Bay anymore. I am Neil. So maybe he
was
finally
Neil
decided...
longer than he was Bayfire.
Yeah, this is true, but I mean, like he made
spent a lot of time in Neverland. He was probably there for like 100 years.
He made it damn clear that he didn't want to be called his prior name. He wanted to be called Neil.
Okay. Alex loved the scene with Jasmine. The actress is fantastic. Also talented. Amazing. I can't wait to discover her backstory in the next episode. She was fantastic, 100%.
Yeah, I want to see what they do with it.
She's an amazing actress. I loved her in Gallivant. Absolutely loved her. She's hilarious. So she has comedic timing.
So she's very versatile. That's what you're saying.
Yes, 100%. Yes. And like the truths that she told Snow without revealing the truth. Mm-hmm. You know, at the same time, we're assuming those are truths anyway. Really has me desperate to know what the hell went on in Agrabah.
Yeah, and just the way that Snow was asking the questions, like, did your princess ever fix things back where you're from? And she's like, well, no, I went to the land of untold stories. I think Snow kind of figures that she's the princess, but she can't put her finger on it because she doesn't know what princess, where she's from.
I don't know. Maybe there are some realms that they're not aware of each other. Because like they didn't know about the land of untold stories, but like some people only have prior knowledge of it. So maybe like the Enchanted Forest, those people don't know about Agrabah. We know Wonderland knows about it because they're like next door neighbors.
Oh, no, Enchanted Forest knows about Agrabah.
Oh, yeah,
at least Regina does, and you know, Snow's dad obviously knows about
it. In that episode where Regina and Tink were at that eating together, Tinkerbell, and Jafar was in the background.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that.
What was he doing?
You could not mistake that long curly hair anywhere.
Oh, goodness.
So, yes, they know about each other.
We don't know if Snow knows.
We don't know if they know, like, I mean, they could be like, oh, Agrabah, but they don't know the royalty there. You know what I'm talking about?
They've never met.
They've never met each other.
Those are just two lands that are not talking to each other right now.
Did Snow and Charming figure out what the Count of Monte Cristo had to poison them? Like,
No, but poison, like, that goes into I'm pretty sure that all ties into Hamlet and stuff like that.
It was the Agrabah venom. Agrabah Viper's venom.
But the one from Once, I'm talking about the original story. Which used poison as well. So, I feel like that the Agrabah venom was just brought in to kind of tie in poison as the theme.
Well, yeah, and what I'm saying is just like, you know,
so no, it was not revealed which poison they were using.
There were many connections to Agrabah. I'm just saying, like, did Snow and Charming find out it was the venom of the Agrabah Viper? No. Okay.
Yeah, they probably know of Agrabah. They've never been there. They've never gone on a diplomatic mission there. Maybe Agrabah, they're fine. They don't need, resources.
We don't need you.
Most realms, I guess, don't know about Wonderland, though, because nobody in the Enchanted Forest talks about it.
No, who would want to? It's a terrible place.
Because apparently to Rumpel, it's known as the annoying realm.
Yeah.
The annoying little brother.
It's like that uncle you know is around, but you just don't talk about.
And no one knew about Neverland.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But Alex is also saying, did you know we're going to get a cameo from Goldilocks on Sunday? That's going to be really cool. And there was also talk earlier on in chat about Robin Hood coming back, and the actor is only supposed to be coming back for maximum 3 to 4 episodes.
It's a small arc.
They're not bringing him back to life.
But it is an arc.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I feel like this is going to tie very much into the Regina splitting herself kind of thing, and
but then again, if she kills herself and then finds Robin, then I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. And I don't necessarily think it's going to be her, you know. It could very well be
Emma
kills Regina. Which will just give Nikki even more reason to hate her.
Well, like I said, maybe they'll like kind of, kill Regina, but then, get the paddles and clear. Wake her up and kill the evil queen, but then they could bring Regina back to life, and then the evil queen's dead.
You go to the underworld, because we can do that now. Just go there, pick her back up, and it's just a 20-minute trip.
That. It's really easy. I'll just book my ticket now.
We got friends in the underworld now.
And enemies too.
Rumple's blood still opens the portal, right? So why the hell not?
All of them can open the portal, because the rule is if you've been to the underworld and back, you can open it up. All of them can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Why haven't they just used that more often now? Like, seriously.
Come on. They're dealing with way too much at the moment. They don't need to go there.
It's just like casting a curse. They do it all. They're gonna do it anyway. They do it all the time.
Yeah, it's like time travel. You can do that now.
Mm-hmm. So.
Oh my god.
So next week, the episode is called Street Rats. Right? In a flashback to Agrabah, Princess Jasmine recruits Aladdin to help her recover a secret weapon capable of breaking Jafar's hold on the Sultan and saving the city from ruin, which just... I saw the preview, and in the preview, we see the magic carpet, and we see the hourglass from the Disney movie, like the giant hourglass of sand, so it looks fantastic.
And what could its weapon be?
I don't know. The quest takes them to the Cave of Wonders, where Aladdin's fate is revealed.
Yep. Sinbad's sword? We know the lamp is in the Cave of Wonders, so maybe that's what they're looking for. Or it could be something
but they said they were not going to do anything to diminish Robin Williams.
They said they're going to avoid using the genie. Because they don't want...
They can still take care of the lamp.
Yeah.
But,
But see, I was under the impression that they've already dealt with the genie, because I've been under the impression the whole time that Sydney was the genie of Agrabah.
He is a genie of Agrabah.
He was the genie of Agrabah. That's how they worded it.
But there are other genies.
There are other genies, yes, but...
Of Agrabah.
But who's to say that the genie of that lamp was the genie of Agrabah? Maybe it was the genie of mincemeat pies. We don't know.
Maybe that's just how genies have to greet. That's just how they have to greet themselves. It doesn't matter where you come from. Hello, I am the genie of Wonderland.
Maybe.
Hello, I am the genie.
I don't recall Will Scarlet doing that.
That's because it's Will.
Well, that's because it's Will. Yeah.
The rules just don't apply to him.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't follow the freaking rules.
And then in Storybrooke, the evil queen tricks Hook and the Charmings and forces Emma to reveal her secret in an effort to divide the family. While the evil queen pampers Zelina, who we didn't see this episode at all, elsewhere in town, Regina and our hero scramble to learn what became of Aladdin. So we've been waiting very patiently the last 3 episodes now for Aladdin. We're going to get it. So it better be worth it. That's all I have to say. So, I think that
hopefully get more characters that we haven't seen in a while.
For
Ariel, where you been?
Her and Eric have been on a desert island alone. They have like 5 kids now.
Probably. Most of them with gills.
That about does it. Thank you very much, everybody who's joined us in chat. Alex, Danielle, Very Magical, Lee Silver,
Who?
Chrissy Bell, and
Brian.
Brian
Brian
yes.
was in there, yeah.
Brian Greenwood. Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. Scrolling up.
I mean, we might have a few lurkers. Hi to you
sure.
too.
You guys
Thank
have
you
been.
for
You guys
watching.
at least were the most active. So thank you guys very much for joining us. Jake, where can the people find you?
You can find me here on YouTube at Jacob Salazar, or you can find me on Twitter. Tweet at me throughout the week, throughout the life, at To Nowhereland. That is TONOWHERELAND. Join the Nowhereland Society.
Rachel, where can that song will never get old. Where can the people find you, Rachel?
They can find me at Twitter at Semiana17, where I will post when I go live. Hopefully, I don't know. Work has been insane. I'm finishing up this corpse bride dress for my daughter for Halloween.
Awesome. You don't have much time left. 11 days.
No, I don't.
11 days.
And yeah, and I work until Saturday.
Fun. Nikki, where can the people find you and your Emma spewing venom?
Just gonna put this out there. I hated on Zelina, but I would rather see Zelina on the show than Emma right now. So you know what? And if you go back and watch, you know how much I hated Zelina. So anyways, you can find me on Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyYVENOM24.
And you can find me down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM.
Do 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 do.
You can find us all and more on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, MySpace, and right here on YouTube at /ASOTV podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows, games, and movies. Till next time, see you guys later.
Ciao.
Adios.
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 Adieu.
Do da da da.
Scooby-Doo.
Your blue dubba dee dubba die.
Oh my god.